Howdy fellas, B Junior here from B Junior's Movie Cave on the Endurance Productions YouTube channel. Basically going to do a rundown today on a good old DVD quad pack sent out by the wonderful folks at the Shout Factory. They're still doing a really great job as usual on these Roger Corman Cult Classics line they've been sending out for reviews. And I'm really thankful for that because, like I say, I've been enjoying revisiting a whole lot of these and experiencing some of them for the first time. Basically today, what I have for you is a quad feature, basically, of Sword and Sorcery collection from the Roger Corman Cult Classics All Night Marathon is the way they call this one. It is the Sword and Sorcery collection. There again from the Shout Factory. It is a quad pack of films that are all, what's the best way I can explain this? These are the post-Conan the Barbarian rip-off and take-off films from the 80s, basically, from the late 70s and 80s, I believe, the best way to explain it. Basically, I thought for ages, I've been watching their website for the last year or so, basically, seeing what the upcoming releases are going to be. I think originally they were going to release these in 2-pack formats, the Deathstalker movies and the other two below it in 2-pack formats, but what they've really, I think, is a great idea. They went ahead and just released them in a quad pack, all together one price. That way it doesn't hurt your bank as bad, plus you get a lot of bang for your buck as usual on these. Even if they don't have a lot of behind the scenes special features, they usually throw a commentary at you, some kind of new transfer, anamorphic transfer that hasn't been released before, something like that. What is housed in the Sword and Sorcery collection here today is the double feature of Deathstalker and Deathstalker 2. Check out that cover art, guys. I know you'll probably remember that from the old VHS mom and pop video store days. And also we have a double feature of Barbarian Queen and the Warrior and the Sorceress. Yeah, good old cheesy Sword and Sorcery movies there. I love to watch these whenever I get in the mood for it. Usually they follow my need to watch Conan the Barbarian and Beastmaster and all these other ones that I like. After I watch those, I'm just kind of like, well, I wonder, I'm going to pick these up and watch them too. Well, since the VHS days are far behind us and the video store days are gone, this is probably a good way to pick up these old favorites like this and get a lot in it for your dollar. Just kind of going through these step by step. Deathstalker and Deathstalker 2, they're basically your run-of-the-mill of that era. Sword and Sorcery movies. We got a hero that's kind of a lone hero. A lot of sword fights basically going through these. It basically has a lot to offer in the ways of good-looking women hanging around the hero all the time, and just it's a lot of the same in these. I'm just going to be honest. That's why the story rundowns on these are going to always be kind of a light rundown, because they're a lot of the same stuff. What's most notable about some of these is the people that work behind the scenes on these. I didn't have any clue as to the fact some of the folks that worked on these. Like, for example, on Deathstalker, the basically one of the fellas that acts in the movie is Richard Brooker, who's most known around the genre fans as Hockey Mask Jason from Part 3, Friday 3. He was the first Jason to put on the hockey mask and all that, and he was the guy behind the mask. He stars in this one in a role, and also has special effects done by John Carl Buechler, who oddly enough came back to direct Friday 7 and done, tons of other special effects shows throughout the 80s and 90s. Deathstalker basically has a new anamorphic widescreen transfer of 1:7:8:1 ratio, audio commentary by producer-director Jim, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, John Sbaraletti, I think so you say his name. Special effects makeup, John Carl Buechler's in on that one, and actor Richard Brooker sits on that one too. Theatrical trailers included and photo gallery. Deathstalker 2 has a new anamorphic widescreen transfer, same ratio, 1:7:8:1, and basically it's the director's cut of the film. Now, I haven't seen Deathstalker 2 in such a long time, since the VHS days in my childhood. I watched it the other night, and honestly, I couldn't pick out the exact scenes that were not included in the original cut, since it had been so long. So you have to take a grain of salt on that one. So I apologize for that, not being able to tell you how much is different about the film, but I still enjoyed it all the same. I will tell you that, in a bad and that good way kind of viewing experience. It also houses an audio commentary by director Jim Wynorski, who basically has directed a few other films in and around these type of genres, subgenres over the years. One of the most notable ones that comes to mind is he directed Chopping Mall, aka Killbots. It's one of my favorite 80s horror films about the robots that run around shooting and killing people in the mall, and about these folks trying to survive. And also, on the commentary has actors John Terlesky and Tony Naples. Also supports a theatrical trailer. If I'm not mistaken, the other two films, Barbarian Queen and Warrior and the Sorceress, they're a little light on the special features, but they do have anamorphic widescreen transfers of both, if I'm not mistaken. Most notably, of the other two in the double feature, The Warrior and the Sorceress is one that I'd never seen. I thought I had saw it before, but I didn't. It stars the late great John Carradine in the movie, and I got to be honest, out of the quad pack, as far as David Carradine, late great David Carradine's in this one, not John Carradine. Basically, The Warrior and Sorceress is probably the most engaging of the quad pack. The other ones you can watch for bad in that good way needs, or if you're a sword and sorcery nut, you'll probably enjoy all of them together, but that's the one I enjoyed the most. It's basically has to do with a fella that is in another world, another time, but it looks a lot like sword and sorcery movies, so it's kind of weird how that worked out. It's got that odd scene in it that stands out in my mind, where you get your typical sword fights, and good fight scenes in that one, by the way, by David Carradine, and some other monster effects and things like that are thrown in. It's about warring clans trying to they're fighting over the water supply of a village, basically is what it centers around. But there's this odd dinner scene, where they have a dancing girl come in, and basically she has some extra appendages. I don't know if you can see it or not in this little picture here, but she has some extra appendages. I'll just say it that way. So if you ever get to view The Warrior and the Sorceress, look out for the dinner scene with David Carradine as he admires this lady who has a little something extra to show off. I'll just put it that way. But let me kind of go over the, as always, they have this cool clear packaging, which I'm a fan of nowadays. There's the Deathstalker disc with the double feature and the unified logo on there. Here you go, The Warrior and Sorceress, Barbarian Queen disc options there. They also have, as always, with these Shout Factory discs, they're doing a great job with these reversible cover arts. They basically have DVD credits in here, and what I like about this one, they have some stills from the movie, but they also have the original one-sheet posters for all 4 films on the inside cover art. I just thought that was a cool, nifty little tidbit there. Yeah, I think you get the basic idea. That's one of the things I really love about these Shout Factory discs. Even on the bare bones ones that have come out in either single or double format, even if they just had a trailer, they'll give you some kind of reversible cover art, some kind of extra. They'll give you a little extra to kind of tide you over or wet your whistle, so to speak. Guys, I know it's a little light on the story content, but a lot of these movies are all the same, so I give it my A+, mainly because you get a lot for your buck in this set. I mean, they've been putting out a lot of double features and triple features recently, but this one's a quad pack. And for these type of movies, I'd feel better about getting them in a quad pack, because I'm an El Cheapo at heart anyway. And if I was out there spending my own hard-earned dollars on this one, probably check it for, I think it's going to be on the shelves at about somewhere in the realm of about $15 to $20, somewhere around in there. So for 4 films, that's not bad, and especially if you like at least 2 or 3 out of them or most of them out of the quad pack. I don't think you can go wrong. Dudes, this has been your DVD quad set remake rundown, quad set rundown on the 4 Tales of Barbarians and Beauties, the Sword and Sorcery collection from Roger Corman's Cult Classics line that's been put out by the Shout Factory. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time for some more reviews. Rock on, dudes.